Yo, what's up guys? CatGamer just dropped a new FoxOS version and of course I will show you how you can install this. Of course the installation part is probably the same as my last video with version 2, but he also updated his post-install guide, so we might see some new things. Yeah, we will find out what's new. So first of all, to download this, of course, go to his Discord. I will put the link in the description into the downloads folder. And if you get an error because you can't download the file or something, there's a tutorial here for that. Then you can just click on it and download it from the site. I mean, we've seen that a lot. But still, if you're completely new to this, in this video I will show you how you can create a dual boot, so you have a separate OS just for gaming, which will be FoxOS, and then your default Windows install, and you can switch on startup in which OS you want to boot. So why should you do this? Of course, to gain better gaming performance, that's all we want, lower latency. And I've been using customized versions for, I don't know, like 4 years now, and I never had any problems. So of course, if you have any questions or something like this, there is a questions channel on his Discord, and you can also go on my Discord if you have any questions, and I might answer them. Now, before we start, what do we need for this guide? As always, you want to go and download Rufus. So this is for creating a bootable USB stick. So of course you need a USB stick for this guide. You can go with the standard or portable version. Doesn't matter. But before we go further into this guide, I quickly wanted to say, if you have something I could improve on in showing this, let me know that in the comments, so I will try to make it better in the next video. So first of all, why do I make these guides? I mean, there's a post-install guide from him officially, you can just use it, but I just want to have a visual guide in video form, so people that don't understand the post-install guide can just follow this guide and also get a good result. Okay, how do we start? We are starting by going into our disk management, and we want to create our second partition. As you can see, I have my Windows partition and my old FoxOS partition right here. For you, you probably only have one Windows partition. Okay, but before we go into shrinking our partition, of course, I don't have to shrink my partition because I can just delete this volume, and I will do this now. If you have an old FoxOS install, you can do it the same way as I do. So just click on delete partition or delete volume, and you can just create a new simple volume. I mean, you probably know this step already. But for everyone where this is the first time you're installing a second OS on your system, I will show you how you can shrink your main partition to have more. First of all, some of you will have a problem with shrinking your partition and you can't shrink it in the size you want. So to fix that, you want to open up the Explorer, right click on this PC, Properties, scroll down to System Protection, click on it. You have this window open up, go to your drive where you're going to install FoxOS on, click on Configure and disable System Protection. Apply, then click on Yes and on OK. So you might have to restart your PC right now and come back to this window. Then you want to click on your Windows, click on Shrink Volume. Of course here I can't shrink it a lot because I almost have no space on my Windows 11. But here you would type in the number you want to have on your FoxOS. So as you can see, in my case, I have 340 gigabytes. Now you have to decide how much games you're going to install on it and how much you really need, and type in the number for it. So for example, so this would be around 115 gigabytes. As you can see, I can't shrink it in my case because I have no space left. So if you want to have 100 gigabytes on FoxOS, I mean, that's pretty low if you're installing the games on the same disk. So I don't know, go with 200, 300, depends on your games you play. Then just click on shrink and you have the unallocated space. And I just showed you before how you can create the volume on it. Right click, create volume. So another thing we want to check is right clicking on our disk, properties, volumes, and see what our partition style is. In my case it's GPT, but probably all of you by now have a GPT partition style, so just remember this. Okay, that's it for the shrinking part. And now we want to open up Rufus and plug in our USB stick. Okay, quickly before we start with the Rufus part, I want to say that while I was using Rufus, the Windows Defender was blocking the post-install script from the FoxOS ISO, so it wasn't applying the right way, so I had to do a reinstall at the end again. So just disable your Windows Defender right now while you're using Rufus, then you can enable it again. Okay, I just plugged in my USB stick, and now you want to click on select, then go to your downloads folder. In my case, I have all my ISOs stored in here. So select the FoxOS ISO, just like this. Then partition, as I saw before, my one is GPT, so I use GPT. Then you can just click on start and click on OK. And wait until this is finished. Click on OK again. Also, while Rufus is doing his job here, I quickly wanted to say, if we reach 1k sub on this channel, I also will do more exciting guides like a CPU overclock guide or maybe even a RAM OC guide. If you're interested in that, of course that will give you the most gain in performance. I'll probably also do a video where I show my BIOS setup and my personal overclocks and maybe my PC, what parts do I have and shit. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss that. Okay, Rufus is ready, as you can see right here. So now you can click on close. And now we want to go into our BIOS. And to do that, just restart your PC and spam the delete key on your keyboard. If you don't want to use this way, you can also just open up your CMD and paste in this command. So I will just do this right now. And I'll see you in my BIOS again. Okay, now I'm in my BIOS. So depends on which manufacturer you have, your BIOS will look different, but we want to look for the same thing, which is secure boot. So on my Asus BIOS, I need to go to the boot tab, then go to secure boot, and I have to put mine on OS to disable secure boot. In your case, you might have to go and put it on disable or something like this. After you disabled secure boot, you want to look for your boot option and go on boot option 1 and select your USB stick. So if you've done that, you can press F10 on your keyboard and it will just change the configuration. As you can see here, click on OK and we will boot right into our USB stick. Okay, now we can see the default Windows installation screen. So just select your time and currency format, then click on next, accept this, click on next. And now you want to select the partition we created. So I named it FoxOS Windows 11, then click on next and it will install. Okay, it just finished, and what I like you to do now is just unplug your USB stick. I just did it, and you can wait until it restarts. So it will probably restart twice now, and you will have the boot selection menu where you can switch between your Windows installs. As you can see right here. So the top one will be your new installed FoxOS as default. You can also change this, but there's no need to. Okay, so now we have the default Windows 11 installation screen, and here you would just want to select all your things. Now just wait. Of course I have to put in a name. Here you can put in whatever you want. Also, if you like a password, I don't use one. Yeah, now it's applying the post install script. Okay, now I'm back on the desktop, and the only thing I installed right now is my GPU driver, so I can record, but of course I will show you how you can do this as well. So first of all, the first thing I like to check is going into my sound settings, go into more sound settings, and disable everything I don't need. Also check if your hertz is set correctly. Okay, after I did this, I like to install my browser. So in my case, I'm installing Firefox. You can also install Chrome or Brave. Okay, now we will just go through the new post install guide from him. So let's see. First of all, of course, you can go into the drivers folder and use Snappy Driver to install things like the Realtek USB audio driver, also Ethernet drivers, where when you open up this program, click on download indexes only. Okay, then we want to install our graphics card driver. I already did this, but I will show you how you can do it too. First of all, manually select the driver version and go with the newest desktop one. Then click on next. So in my case, I want GeForce Experience with Shadowplay. So what I do is I will check GeForce Experience and Shadowplay. Click on next and yes, so it will check everything we will need for this. If you don't use it, the only thing you want to have checked is display driver. Then you click on next. Okay, in this tab, if you have GeForce Experience enabled, you want to check these things. Click on next and install. If you don't use GeForce Experience, you can click on show expert tweaks and you want to disable driver telemetry, enable message signal interrupts, and disable HDCP. Also check these boxes on the bottom. Click on next and install. Okay, now what we can do is activating our Windows if you want to do this. So go into your settings and you can click on activate now here if you have a key, or if you're using a script, I don't know, you can do it like you want. I don't care, but you don't have to. Okay, I just activated my Windows. Now we want to go into our device manager, go onto our disk drives, policies, and we want to check turn off Windows wide cache buffer flushing. Do this on all of them. Then open up your Explorer, click on your drives, properties, and uncheck allow files on this drive. Apply, okay, ignore all, and wait. Now I just saw that my time is messed up, so to fix that you can go into the tweaking folder and click on change date and time. Select your time zone. Also you can go into this and click on sync now. Okay, now we want to go into the tweaking folder and see if we have new Powerplans. Yes, he added new Powerplans. I always like to use idle enabled Powerplan, so my CPU won't run at 100% all the time. But if you like to use idle disabled Powerplan, feel free to do it. You might have better latency in games. Also, I like to delete the standard Powerplans. Okay, the next step is to tweak our NVIDIA control panel. To do that, go into the tweaking folder again, GPU, NVIDIA, and you have these 4 scripts. You can select all of them and just run them. Then you can go into the NVIDIA Profile Inspector, open it up and drag in the NVIDIA Profile Inspector profile in here. Okay, you can now exit out of it. Open up NVIDIA control panel, agree. So first thing I like to do is enable developer settings and disable show notification tray. So for image settings, you always want to use the middle one. So you actually use the 3D image settings we set. So now you can click on take me there. So everything in here should be set up correctly because we dragged in the profile. Yep, looks good. Now for configure surround physics, just select your GPU and for resolution, of course, select the highest refresh rate on both of your monitors. I also like to use the NVIDIA color settings and put it on full on both of my monitors, just like this. Then click on apply. Okay, next step, go into the adjust desktop color settings. And I like to put my digital vibrance on 70% on my gaming monitor to have it a bit more colorful. Then adjust desktop size and position. If you don't use stretched, put both on no scaling. If you use stretch, put it on full screen. Okay, in here select the bottom one. After you did this, go in adjust video color settings, and in here I like to set this with the NVIDIA settings, go on advanced and put both of my monitors on full again, as well as the adjust video image settings. I like to use the NVIDIA settings, uncheck this on both of your monitors and apply. Okay, that's it for NVIDIA control panel. If you decided to install GeForce Experience, I will show you the settings as well. So open up GeForce Experience, go on settings. In the general tab, scroll down and uncheck everything here. In the games and apps tab, remove everything in here. I already did this, and that's it for the GeForce Experience. Okay, now what I like to do is install a VLC. Remove startup notification. And now I like to get rid of everything I don't need. Okay, now we want to go into the tweaking folder, go into the tweaks network, and you want to use network tweaks by its right. Okay, then as well you can use the browser tweaks folder, select your browser, in my case Firefox, use the Firefox Debloat and run everything what's in the folder. So next step is going back to driver services, go into device tweaks, device cleanup, open up device cleanup, devices, select all, remove selected. Okay, go back, then you can go in the drivers folders, and I like to disable this. Services, I like to disable this. Then go into the Debloat folders, and of course, first of all, install Spotify and Discord. So I won't use the Discord Debloat, but you can if you want. I always only use the Spotify one. So first of all, before we use the script, go into your Spotify settings, disable hardware acceleration, and don't open Spotify on startup. I also like to disable this. Then exit out of Spotify and use the Spotify Debloat by CatGamer. Okay, then you can go into the mouse and keyboard folder. First of all, disable USB idle and also run this with PowerShell. Then you can go into the keyboard data queue size folder, and I like to use 25 for keyboard and mouse. I never had any issues with that, but if you experience some bad stutters or something, use a higher value like 50. And also use the same value for both keyboard and mouse. Then you can go into the Autoruns folder. Okay, I just saw he removed it from this ISO, so you can't run the Autoruns tweaked rec, okay? But just open up Autoruns and we will disable just this Microsoft Edge because I don't need this. Then for full screen exclusive, you can enable full screen exclusive or disable full screen exclusive. Of course, with enabled full screen exclusive, you will have slightly better delay, but black screen if tabbing out of a game or something like this. So you can decide which one you want to use. I go with disabled full screen exclusive because I tab out a lot in my games, so I don't use this. Then we have some extra tweaks here. Disable hypervision. I will run this. It is already stripped out of the OS. And process migrations. If you disable this, this could break Valorant. But because I don't play this game anyway, I can just do it. Then for Win32 priority, I always like to use the default one for FoxOS because I don't bother testing this. But of course there's explanation down here if you want to find the best one for you. So then we have the Miscellaneous folder. You can open up MSI util and you could put everything in MSI mode, which has a supported MSI mode if you like to do that. So as you can see, I already have everything on MSI mode now. Okay, now one thing I always like to use is start all back for Windows 11 because I just hate these taskbar and things. You don't have to use this, but I like this a lot, so there's no problem if you don't want to, but I will quickly go through this as well, and also I will show you the Discord settings, Epic Game settings and Steam settings soon. Okay, for Discord settings, go into the game overlay and disable it. Also I like to disable the streamer mode. Then disable Discord on startup and also disable hardware acceleration. That's it for Discord. Then let's go for start all back settings. Click on proper I mean, this is all personal preference, so I will just show you my settings. Click on proper Windows 11. Then I like to enable search. I don't want my recent items, only clean like this. Taskbar, I always like to hide the labels. Tray icons, I like to disable everything besides the clock, just like this. And I like to use the alt flyout style. Explorer, I like to leave like this. And that's it for all my start all back settings. Okay, for Epic Game settings, open up your settings, disable these, this, and this. Okay, for Steam settings, open up Steam, go into your settings, click on interface. I like to enable 24-hour clock. I like to open up Steam in my library and disable everything in here. Of course, you can disable things like remote play. then just exit out of Steam. Also, you can now install things like MSI Afterburner to put in your overclocks, and that's it for the video. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.